I met this lady, and she's American, married to a Bengali.
Okay.
Okay. So I talk to her once in a while, and I see her once in a while. So sometimes I go to the library and I check out books. So maybe a month or so ago, I checked out several books from Dallas Library, and one was, I forgot what it was. So I called my friend and I told her, and she asked me, who are these authors? They're Turkish, and they converted from Muslim to Christian, and they're writing all these, they're like controversial things.
Mm-hmm.
And then another book I read was Women Behind the Veil.
Oh, I
Kind of
read
like
that.
feminism, okay?
Yeah, I
Kind of
read.
like feminism against Islam, or that there's no rights for women in Islam.
That's right. Women
things like
Behind the
that.
Veil is a woman who is, I read about her, she's, personally I know the person.
Well, I mean, so the Christian women are trying to talk to the Muslim women, trying to get more information so they can understand more.
That's right.
You
Well,
know?
this is, you know about Islam teaching and theology more than Susan does.
Well, not really.
You
But
know,
I mean, I used to
She
be,
knows it by culture and tradition.
Yes, I know that the men whom they cheat their women like secretly, it's better to be married than they cheat.
that's what my husband says.
Yeah,
He asked me which one is better. I said they're both haram.
the both is, but like
The both ways, but they're
That's
either
what I
wrong
say.
or right.
That's what I said.
no, it is the in any way it is not not right. It is
So
not
if it's
fair.
not right and the Quran says that, what does that make the Quran? If the Quran says, well, وَانْكَحُوا مَطَابَ لَكُمْ لِلنِّسَاءِ, marry as much as, I mean, be with them as much as you want. انكحوهم. مش just be with them. مطابع لكم للنساء. Do you tell me that these words come from God?
Well-
If God wants, why didn't God create, if God want more than one man for, more than a woman for man, why didn't he create 3 Eves instead of 1 Eve? God created Adam and Eve, and he said the 2 shall become 1. The Quran comes and say, no, the man has more than 1 wife. He can marry as many as 4.
One reason back.
Both of you here
Hmm.
think that is not true, because from your own experience, you know that that is not right. And if it's not right, that means the Quran is not right.
Yes, sir, but this is the Quran. The Muslim people call this book Quran, and it is from Allah. And
Well, because they say that, that means it makes it true. A lot of people say that. It's from, if your son was going out and got attracted to this woman he wants to marry, and he lives with her, and then he has children with her, then he goes and see another woman, and he's attracted to her, and he wants to marry her.
That's a disaster.
That's Jerry Springer.
What do you call that? Isn't that called adultery?
Right.
Jerry Springer.
That's what it is. That's committing adultery on your own wife.
I'm more of
Quran
a,
calls it marry more than one wife. Christianity calls it adultery. You can't cheat on your woman and have reasons to justify that because you can afford her and treat them equally. You know what happened when I hear that and I think about my mom and dad in the same house, in the same room, and my father with another woman in a different room? How will that make Ayu feel if he knows that about his mother who lives with his dad, then he brings another woman to live with him?
I'm more what's it called, liberal. Understand? My husband's very strict.
Yeah, but you do have a lot of hard questions for him. What does he say about those questions when he asks? I know you ask a lot of good questions here that I wish a lot of
That's my
Muslim
daughter, but
mothers and women hear them.
well, but I can't. I'm gonna make this on silent
Oh, go
or
ahead,
something.
go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna put it on silent. I can't really. I have to be careful with what I say.
Well, let me tell you, what gives you that, I know your mind is running a lot of questions, different directions.
I used to go to Halakha when I started going to Richardson Masjid. I went to Halakha and everything like that. And I told my husband, I don't know. Like when I was first taught about Islam, it was from Shia Iranians who taught me in Illinois.
Uh-huh.
So when I first learned about Islam, it was Shia. Okay. Then in 2004, somebody asked me, "Oh, did I ever do my shahada?" And I said no. So I went up to Richardson Masjid and did my shahada. Well, right away I saw so many differences between Shia and Sunni.
Yes.
So
of
many
course.
different things. You know, and each person has different views about
Right.
Islam. Some are in the middle, some are like they don't even practice, some are too extreme, some are, you know.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same thing in Christianity.
That's right. We have
Liberal
Shias and
conserv-
Sunnis here in our ESL program. We have a Shia Muslim, we have a Sunni Muslim,
Right.
but when they come here, they don't discuss any of their religion. They become neutral, actually. But what is it that really, do you still have the struggle now between Islam and Christianity? What is it that's still keeping you in the Muslim faith, though?
Okay, some of these questions I prefer not to answer
Okay.
because
I mean, don't you have the freedom to express your faith? I mean, you're in a country that gives you that opportunity to speak. I couldn't say that if I am back home in Morocco. I cannot speak about my faith and express it the way I want. You're here in America, you're an American, now you're Muslim, and you don't have that freedom to speak about how you feel. Why is that?
no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I don't like to make waves for my husband. Like him
Well,
and I, we
I'm
don't.
just asking you, what do
Mhm.
you personally believe? I'm not going to go to him and ask him questions.
Okay, like him and I are so different. You know, both my husband and I, we tell each other we're so different. Just between black and white, you know, we're so different. But for some odd reason, not even odd. I know we're just so different. Okay, but one reason way back when I got tired, but that was back in 1979. You know, I'm a little bit older now, and some of my views have changed over the years, back and forth, whatever. But back then, I felt like I saw a lot of hypocrites in Christianity. Well, now I see that can be any religion, you know. And I've tried to teach my daughter, since she was little, don't judge people from, you know, I taught her that she needs to learn about people, their education, their language, their religion before she makes any judgment. And don't judge by a group, judge each person as an individual.
What do you tell your daughter about her guilt?
Guilt of what?
Like, what does your daughter do with her
She's 25.
sins? What do you do with your sin?
Well, I pray.
Okay.
I pray, I ask God to forgive me and give me patience with different things, different people.
Do you have to do anything to earn forgiveness?
Can I ask, so you're Christian now? Or you're Muslim?
Is that important for you to answer the question?
Well, I didn't come here to be in debate.
Oh, we're not in debate.
No,
I'm just curious to ask if that will help you answer the question. Then I will say I am a Muslim, former Muslim who is now a Christian.
Yeah.
But I just always curious to hear other people who did the opposite
Yeah.
of me. You know, they were Christians and then converted or switched, or in my case, I never, I didn't switch. I was forgiven. I was transformed by the forgiveness of Christ, of God in Christ Jesus. So my question is always, are Christians and Muslims going to be in heaven?
No comment.
No comment? Well,
I mean, I know the answer, okay, but
you know the answer
yeah.
from...
if another time, maybe if another time,
Uh-huh.
we can talk
Sure.
where, you know.
Yeah, I'll be glad to ask you questions. Now, the reason I'm holding this here, because I want Suzanne to hear it from you, who knows who was on both sides and knows the Islam, because not a lot of them here have a clue about what Islam teaches. They don't have a. My friend here, Sabar, was telling me a story about Muhammad when he was. Muhammad has 13 wives, and he gave reason for every one of them. And then he says to man, only marry 4. Well, why couldn't he tell them to go ahead and marry 13 as he did?
You need to ask those questions to my husband because he teaches halakha and he's more knowledgeable and everything about.
He teaches halakha?
Well, I mean, he's more.
What is halakha?
Isn't halakha like
What?
lessons from the Quran?
Well,
Halakha, it's an Arabic word.
that's a Jew's name. That's the Hebrew name.
Well, it's not that. Anyway, he's more knowledgeable. He can
Sure.
answer your
I'd love
questions
to.
more.
I
He's more.
saw it. Go ahead.
Sorry, he's more.
Knowledgeable.
Yeah, but again, like I've heard and I've seen, like some Muslims, some born Muslims, no less than converts. But also, a lot of people look at converts as they're strange, or they only converted because of marriage, or they only converted because of
Talking
whatever.
about Muslim converting to Christianity?
No,
Or
Christians
Christianity?
converting to Muslims. Like most of the American converts up in Richardson Masjid are older, and most of them converted because of marriage.
Huh. That's interesting.
So a lot of people look at converts as if they didn't convert for the real reason, they only converted for because they married somebody.
What do you think is the main reason for a woman to cover herself in Islam? Why doesn't man have to cover himself?
You know,
Is it true that
Muslim women, they say Mary was the first woman who covered herself. For
say
that, we are covering ourselves.
well, you're not covering yourself?
No, not me, but when I asked
You're nothing. You're not a Muslim. You're not a Christian. You're
I
not
am-
wearing the hijab. So
Some people say it's for
I
respect.
am Kurd and
Some
Zoroastrian.
people say to respect the body. Some people say to respect their sales or their husband or their family or their whatever. You know, these subjects you should talk to my husband about.
I know I will, but I love the fact that you are you open to at least give us this opportunity to talk to you, and especially to
Well, I need a
Suzanne.
job really bad.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you.
Yeah.
Well, we can talk about that.
Yeah. Can
Later.
you talk about that?
Yeah. You want to talk about it now?
Or could
Yes,
you?
please.
Well,
and I want to.
We're still an interview
Oh,
for
interview?
that. Yeah. I'm not going to talk to
No.
you in front of them here.
Well, see, it was when I went to Niger. People speak French and the African language.
I speak French. Is my
I learned a little bit
second
of
language.
French.
Yeah.
I learned a little. I just know folklore, just certain things. I can read the French because I know Spanish.
I will see just a moment.
Okay.
Kids.
But I saw some things
Come back,
that.
Suzanne,
Yes, sir, sure.
because she's going to give you an advice before you leave.
I don't know.
He's okay.
Oh, my
Let's
goodness.
see down there.
تعال هنا.
Mama, the kids made a big mess here.
We'll clean up in a minute.
But
Don't worry about it.
But I want him to turn off the camcorder.
Listen, this is a very good question for Suzanne, so you can help. What good advice do you give to Suzanne, who now is kind of struggling between situations? She knows there are some things in the Quran that just off the wall.
Okay, if I
And she
want,
sees a lot of things in Christianity, law of forgiveness and passion. What do you say to that?
I would talk to her personally,
Okay,
just between her and me.
okay,
So the words would be just between her and me.
okay. Well, we can arrange that. We can arrange that where she can ask you a lot of questions. And
But
you'll be
it's
able-
really like I told my husband and other people, it's not the hijab or the clothes that makes the person.
That's right.
Like before, I was with this lady, this girl, whatever, and we went to Galleria, I think. And we both applied for a job at Macy's. This is like 2004, 2005. She's married to a Bengali. She's wearing all the clothes, okay? We both applied for the same job. Guess who they called for the job? Me.
The one
Because
that-
I wasn't wearing any Muslim clothes, okay?
Uh-huh.
And like, if you see women walking down the street or going anywhere, how can you judge? How can you know if they're Christian or Muslim? If, let's say, neither one are wearing Muslim clothes or one is wearing Muslim clothes, you don't know.
What-
You
what-
cannot be judging, nobody really should be judging.
Why do you think Americans or Christians have that prejudgment? Why do you think they have this kind of attitude toward Muslim and stereotype them before they get to know them? Where did that come from? You think
Archie Bunker? No, I'm kidding.
you have a
You
lot
know
of
who Archie
sense.
Bunker is?
Yeah. So, where do you think that comes from? You think it's only after 9/11
No.
that happened?
Before.
Yeah. So, is that only toward Muslim people?
No, it's toward,
I mean, you can see.
it's toward foreign, non-American.
Yeah. I mean,
Anybody.
when America got bombarded by Pearl and by Japanese Pearl Harbor, all the Japanese were looked at
Right,
that
right.
way.
It's all stereotyping for them.
Yeah, but
But it's true, and then, like I said, and I've read that Muslim women have been shot and killed wearing hijab, and I've tried to tell my husband, being white, American lady, wearing hijab, Muslim clothes, is not really safe.
yeah. So what was the moment for you that got you really sold out for Islam? When you really thought this is the religion of truth? Was it a revelation to you, or was it just a what do you call it? You were a Muslim in their protest because you're angry at Christians, or you're angry at hypocrite Christians who pretend to be good people, or you didn't like that, or I'm just
Well, there's still, like I was raised a Baptist, or I went to Church of the Brethren, which is like Amish and Mennonite. And there are so many differences inside the Christian religion. Some believe that Jesus is God. Some believe to pray to Mary. Some when they're baptized once. Some are baptized 3 times. Some believe in the holy, the Trinity, the 3 in 1. Some just believe in one. And like I said, some Christian churches say that Jesus is God. Like that. There's many differences in each Christian church inside the Protestant religion. You understand? You don't really have as much of that in Islam. But in Islam, the Sunnis and the Shias, they don't like each other, they don't like Baha'is, they don't like Kurdish, so it's still differences. If it's one religion, Islam, then the Sunnis and Shiites should agree, but they don't agree because they differ on the Caliph and that's why they
political-
split.
yeah. But does either Sunni or Shia offer forgiveness of sin? from based
Like
based
I
on the
said,
Quran teaching?
I can answer that, one-to-one,
Okay.
not, you know.
Yeah. So, but you in your heart know that
I know in my heart, I
You
know
know
the
that-
real answer.
the question of salvation comes by faith in Jesus Christ. That Jesus offers forgiveness. That
I can't really answer that right now because of situation.
okay. All right. Well, that really helps me answer a lot of questions. And where do you?
I mean, I'm not. Like I said, I've seen different things. Living in Africa. Some people down there think that, and I saw. Okay, like we lived in the capital, and let's say here, for example, if she's Muslim or she's Kurdish, she can go to Christian places to get help. Okay, well, like in Africa, I don't know about Morocco, but in Niger, if you're Muslim, you can only go to Muslim ONGs. If you're Christian, you can only go to Christian ONGs.
Right.
If you're Muslim, like my friend from Algeria, she was Muslim and she never wore hijab. She had to work in a French school. She was not allowed to wear hijab if she wanted the job. If she wanted the job, she could not wear hijab. It was like against the
Culture.
whatever.
There's the
No,
rules.
against the rules. So, on her passport, that's another thing. In your passport, it's going to say Muslim or Christian. Well, here in the United States, it's not going to say that. They don't really care. You understand?
Correct.
But over there, like I said, if you're Christian, you can only go to like Red Cross and different places like that, World Vision, CARE. They're all Christian ONGs. They only help Christian people. They don't help Muslim. And the Muslim, they only help the Muslim people.
And you lived in this life for how long?
For 3 years.
And that must be really hard on you.
Well, we didn't go for help, Yeah, I mean. And then another thing is, I met some people, some missionaries. They work for SIL, which is headquartered out of Duncanville here.
SIL?
Yeah.
I'm very familiar with SIL. I was there. I taught at SIL. Student linguistics.
Well, you can tell my husband that you were, okay?
Yeah.
We had some neighbors that work, there are still missionaries down in Niger from SIL. And they go and they try to convert the people, And I saw and I heard kind of not firsthand, just by what I heard, what's still happening down there. And it's not, they shouldn't be doing that.
What are they doing?
Like here's a job, here's a house, here's a whatever, Like let's say you're really poor and you're living on the street. Okay, we'll give you a house, we'll give you a job, we'll give you whatever, we'll send you and your children to school if you become Christian, okay? Voila. So they do all that, and then the people say, no, sorry, we don't want to be